In this episode, we're going to share with you our SB1 success story, walk you through the facts and the arguments, and we're going to show you how to apply for the SB1 if you've never done it before, and give you some pro tips along the way. Let's get started. Hi, this is Joseph Zhang, and I'm the managing partner here at Zhang Associates, where we solve legal problems with creative solutions. The SB1 visa is made for green card holders who have been outside of the US for over a year, and technically, they may have already abandoned their green card. So now they have to go before the consulate and prove, no, I did not abandon my green card. Here are the reasons why. Please give me an SB1 visa so I can return home to the United States. Now, because every consulate has very detailed instructions on how to apply for the SB1 visa at their specific port, I'm not going to spend a lot of time in this video talking about what to do and how to do it. If you got your green card overseas at the consulate, it's very similar procedure. You fill out the form, 117 form, 260 form, you provide your passport picture, you provide documentation, you go in for 2 interviews. If they deemed you approved, then they'll give you the visa and you fly to the US, right? So that's the overall general scope. Now, how do you prepare for this SB1 interview? How do you prepare your arguments? Let me share a success story with you. Before we get into the story, as a quick disclaimer, we changed the name and the consulate to preserve the confidentiality of the client, but otherwise we kept the facts and the arguments intact so you can see how we made the argument before the consulate to prove the SB1 case. Okay, let's get into it. Miss Lin is a green card holder that left the United States for over 2 years because she had to take care of her mother who was gravely ill. She contacted us because she wanted to come back to the United States after her mother recovered, and she needed to apply for an SB1 visa. So this is what we did, and these are the arguments that we used. So here are the arguments that we employed to prove to the consulate that she did not abandon her green card. First, even though she left for over 2 years, we argue that it was short and it was temporary in nature because she went for the specific purpose of caring for her gravely ill mother. And after the illness was cured, then she promptly returned to the US, or is planning to return to the US, right? The second argument we employed, which is probably the most important one, was we focused on how she got her green card before she left the country, right? So she was an EB1A recipient. She was an amazing, talented, extraordinary researcher. And so of course she didn't abandon her green card because she was publishing all these papers before she left. She continued to do those research even while she was caring for her ailing mother. And now she wants to come back to continue to do what she intended to do when she got her green card. We also put a footnote. And by the way, officer, if her SB1 visa was denied, she would just apply for the EB1A again with premium processing. It would just be a big time and resource drain for her and for the government. And the third argument we employed was just her history. She worked in the US for 8 years before going back to take care of her mother. She didn't just get her green card and immediately left. She had roots, she had friends, she had a family in the US. So of course she didn't abandon her green card. Look at everything, right? So Miss Lin told us that when she went to the interview and furnished all of these arguments and provided all these documents, that the officer asked all the same questions that we practiced a couple times before she went, and it went very smoothly. And this was hugely different compared to all the people that interviewed before her. Everybody else was denied on the spot, and the interviews were much shorter. But when she went, the officer was polite, was very respectful. Even though she wasn't approved on the spot, it was soon approved after. And so she was very thankful, and we're very happy to share this good news with you. But you really want to focus on the key documents and not just be generic, like, personal opinion. I did not abandon my green card. Show the officer why, how, and the reason why you left, and show how it's temporary in nature and you couldn't control it and you really have roots back in your home country in the US and how you are ready to go back. All right, so that's our SB1 video. It's just one among many ways on how green card holders can come back to the US and prove you did not abandon your green card. I know because of the pandemic and COVID, a lot of people left the US in 2019 or 2020 and they couldn't come back. And they've been outside for over a year, and maybe in 2021, they might have to be out for a whole year as well. So if you're in one of these situations where you are a green card holder and you've been outside for 1 year, 2 years, or 3 years or more, please don't lose hope. If with a good officer and the right documentation, you may still be allowed into the US. I hope these videos help. This video was focused on the SB1, and we're gonna go into more videos on how you can come into the US. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Would love talking to you. Take care. Bye-bye.